The glass shattered against the wall like my heart in that instant, shards scattering across the polished oak floor of Ethan's corner office overlooking Manhattan's relentless pulse. His face, usually a mask of calculated charm, twisted into something feral, eyes blazing with a jealousy I never saw coming. "You're mine, Alex. You don't get to flirt with him and pretend it's nothing," he snarled, his voice a low thunder that drowned out the distant honk of taxis 30 stories below. I froze, the champagne flute still in my hand from what was supposed to be our quiet celebration of closing the biggest merger of the quarter. We'd kept it secret for months. This electric pull between us, stolen glances in boardrooms, late-night strategy sessions that dissolved into whispered confessions under the hum of his desk lamp. But now, with the door locked and the city lights twinkling like indifferent stars, Ethan's rage cracked open the fragile world we'd built. "Ethan, it was just a handshake," I stammered, my pulse hammering as I stepped back, the cool air between us feeling like a chasm. He laughed, bitter and broken, raking a hand through his perfectly coiffed hair. "A handshake? I saw how he looked at you, like you were his next conquest. And you smiled back, didn't you? God, Alex, do you even care what that does to me?" That night marked the unraveling. Ethan, the golden boy of Harrington and Associates, heir to the firm's legacy and a man who'd clawed his way to partner by 32, had always been a fortress of control. Tall, broad-shouldered, with piercing blue eyes that could command a room or unravel me with a single glance, he embodied the straight-laced world of Wall Street ambition. Yet beneath it, he'd harbored this secret fire for me. Alex Rivera, the 28-year-old creative director who'd transferred from the LA office 6 months ago, bringing my unapologetically queer energy into his buttoned-up domain. Our worlds collided at the annual gala, where I'd worn a tailored suit that hugged my lean frame just right, my dark curls tousled in that effortless way that turned heads. He approached me with a scotch in hand, his tie loosened just enough to hint at the man behind the executive armor. "You look like trouble," he'd said, his voice a velvet rumble that sent sparks down my spine. What started as banter over client pitches evolved into something deeper. Late nights turned into shared takeout in his office, stories of our fractured pasts spilling out like wine. I told him about growing up in a sleepy Texas town, where coming out at 17 meant losing friends and gaining a steel resolve. I'd fled to California for college, built a life in the rainbow haze of West Hollywood, surrounded by friends who wore their identities like badges. Ethan listened, his guard slipping, revealing glimpses of his own shadows. A conservative family in Connecticut, a father who equated success with marriage and heirs, a string of failed relationships with women that left him hollow. "I've always known I was different," he admitted one rainy evening, his hand brushing mine across the conference table. "But admitting it, that's a luxury I can't afford." Our first kiss happened then, tentative and tasting of bourbon, sealing a pact of discretion in a world that devoured vulnerability. But discretion bred distance, and distance invited doubt. Enter Jordan Hale, the new account exec transferred from Chicago. Charismatic, openly gay, with a disarming smile and a habit of leaning too close during meetings. He was everything I admired, bold, unfiltered, a reminder of the life I'd carved before New York swallowed me whole. When Jordan complimented my pitch on the Whitaker campaign, his hand lingering on my shoulder as we laughed over coffee, I didn't think twice. It was harmless, a spark of camaraderie in the corporate grind. Ethan saw it from across the room, his fork pausing midair at the team lunch that followed. By evening, the jealousy had fermented into fury. "You're throwing us away for someone like him?" Ethan demanded now, pacing the office like a caged panther, his sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms corded with tension. I reached for him, desperate to bridge the gap, but he flinched. "This isn't about Jordan, it's about trust, Ethan. You can't control every look, every word." His eyes softened for a split second, regret flickering like a faulty bulb, but pride reignited the storm. "Trust? You waltz in here with your easy charm, making everyone fall at your feet, and expect me to just watch? I'm not built for this, Alex. Not like you." The words landed like blows, echoing the prejudices he'd internalized, the fear that my openness made me flighty, unworthy of his guarded heart. I grabbed my coat, the door slamming behind me as tears blurred the elevator descent. Outside, The December chill bit into my skin, mirroring the ache in my chest. Our secret was over, shattered as surely as that glass. The weeks that followed blurred into a haze of regret and resolve. I threw myself into work, pitching ideas that earned nods from the partners, but hollow praise from Ethan, who now treated me like a ghost in the hallways. Polite nods, clipped emails, eyes that avoided mine. Jordan noticed, of course, pulling me aside one afternoon in the break room, his brow furrowed under that mop of blonde hair. Rough patch with the boss man. Or is it something else? Jordan had become a friend fast, our shared queerness a lifeline in the firm's heteronormative echo chamber. We grabbed drinks after hours at the Eagle, a dimly lit bar in Hell's Kitchen where rainbow flags fluttered like promises. Over gin and tonics, I spilled it all. The passion, the paranoia, the blowout. Jordan listened, his green eyes steady, then squeezed my arm. Sounds like he's scared shitless of what you make him feel. But you deserve someone who owns it, Alex. Not hides behind rage. His words lingered, a seed of doubt about us, about me. Was I pushing Ethan too hard, or was I settling for scraps? My best friend back in LA, Mia, a fierce lesbian illustrator with a laugh that could disarm bombs, called nightly, her voice a transatlantic anchor. Babe, fly home. New York's turning you into a ghost. Remember who you are, the guy who danced at Pride without a care. Mia had been my rock since college, her own journey marked by a bad breakup with a bicurious ex that left scars we both nursed over bad rom-coms and vegan tacos. But what if it's real? I countered, staring at the skyline from my cramped Brooklyn walk-up. What if his anger is just fear in disguise? She sighed, the sound crackling over the line. Then let him face it without you holding his hand. You can't fix someone's closet if they're bolting the door. By mid-January, the strain snapped me. I tendered my resignation, citing a vague, personal opportunity, in a letter that trembled under my pen. Ethan's response came via HR. A curt approval, no exit interview. Just a severance package that felt like severance from my soul. Packing my desk, I found the scribbled note he'd slipped me months ago. Coffee after? A relic of simpler days. I left it there, a quiet goodbye to the man who'd awakened something fierce in me. The flight to LA was a blur of tears and turbulence, landing me in the sun-soaked sprawl where palm trees whispered second chances. Mia met me at LAX, her arms a whirlwind of hugs and half-eaten churros. Welcome back, wanderer. Now, let's plot your renaissance. Rebuilding started slow, lazy mornings sketching logos for indie clients. Evenings at queer open mics where I shared poems about fractured loves that drew nods from strangers who saw their own stories in mine. Jordan texted sporadically, updates on the firm's drama, a photo of him toasting to fresh starts with a drag queen sidekick. No word from Ethan, though I stalked his LinkedIn like a masochist, noting the new projects, the polished smile and headshots. Months stretched into spring, the California bloom coaxing mine. I dated casually. A barista with tattoos like maps, a theater director whose passion matched mine, but none stuck, shadows of blue eyes haunting every laugh. Then, in late May, a curveball, an email from Mia's network, offering a freelance gig back in New York. The Whitaker campaign needs a creative refresh, it read. Your name came up. Irony twisted like a knife, the project born from that fateful handshake. I hesitated, fingers hovering over reply. But the pull was magnetic. Why not? I typed, booking a red-eye before doubt could intervene. Landing at JFK felt like returning to a battlefield, the humidity clinging like unresolved tension. My sublet in Williamsburg buzzed with life, street art murals, coffee shops alive with chatter, but my mind raced ahead to the office reunion I both craved and dreaded. The first week was a tightrope. Meetings in glass-walled conference rooms where Ethan's presence loomed like a storm cloud. He looked sharper, if possible, tailored suits hugging his frame, jaw set in perpetual resolve, but exhaustion etched faint lines around his eyes. Our eyes met once, across a pitch deck, a jolt like live wire that left me breathless. Good to have you back, Rivera, he said later, voice neutral as he signed off on my revisions. No trace of the man who'd shattered glass in jealousy. I nodded, burying the ache in late night runs along the East River, the water's dark ripple mirroring my turmoil. Friendships bridged the gaps. Jordan insisted on a welcome-back dinner at his Chelsea loft, a cozy space crammed with vinyl records and abstract prints. To conquests and comebacks, he toasted, clinking glasses with me and his partner, Theo, a quiet graphic novelist with a wry smile and stories of his own hidden heartaches. Theo's journey echoed Ethan's in echoes. Raised in a religious Midwest family, he'd come out at 25 after a near-miss wedding, finding solace in Theo's steady love. Jealousy's a beast, Theo shared over pasta, his hand intertwined with Jordan's. It feeds on silence. My ex couldn't handle the what-ifs, so he lashed out. Sound familiar? I swallowed hard, the parallel stinging. Jordan shot me a knowing look. Boss man's been off his game since you left. Snapping at interns, skipping happy hours. Whatever he said, it wasn't the end. Their words planted seeds of hope, but reality pruned them quick. A late-night edit session found me alone in the creative suite, screens glowing with mock-ups, when Ethan appeared in the doorway, silhouetted against the hall lights. Burning the midnight oil again. His tone was casual, but his stance, hands in pockets, shoulders squared, betrayed the effort. I swiveled in my chair, heart thudding. Deadline's a tyrant. You know how it is. Silence stretched, heavy with unsaid apologies. He stepped closer, perching on the desk's edge, the scent of his cologne, sandalwood and citrus, wafting like a memory. Alex, about that night. I was out of line. The jealousy, it wasn't just about Jordan. It was everything. The fear of losing what we had because I couldn't give it the way you deserved. His vulnerability cracked me open, words tumbling in response. You didn't lose me, Ethan. You pushed. But I'm here now if you want to try. Hope flickered, tentative as a match in wind. We talked then, really talked, about the merger's stress amplifying his insecurities, about my own doubts in a city that chews up dreamers. By dawn, as the sun crested the skyline, his hand covered mine, a silent vow. But trust, once fractured, rebuild slow, and shadows lingered. Summer heat blanketed the city, mirroring the slow thaw between us. Stolen moments resurfaced, coffee runs that lingered into lunch, his foot brushing mine under conference tables. Yet prejudice's ghost-haunted. Whispers in the break room about the LA boys' influence, sideways glances from old guard execs who sensed the shift. Ethan's sister, visiting from Connecticut, cornered me at a firm barbecue in Central Park, her manicured nails tapping a wine glass. He's different around you. Happier, but reckless. Our family's not ready for whatever this is. Her words, laced with concern masking judgment, echoed the walls he'd built. Ethan overheard, pulling her aside with a firmness that brooked no argument, but the seed of doubt took root. Friendships deepened the stakes. Mia flew in for pride, her energy a whirlwind of glitter and grit, dragging me to parades where rainbows arched like bridges over past pains. Look at this, she marveled, linking arms with me amid the floats and cheers. This is us, unapologetic. Ethan joined reluctantly, his tie swapped for a subtle rainbow pin, eyes wide at the sea of acceptance. Jordan and Theo tagged along, their easy affection a model he studied like a blueprint. That night, under fireworks exploding in electric hues, Ethan kissed me openly for the first time, brief, but bold, whispers of, I want this lost in the roar. But climaxes brew in calm. August brought the Whitaker relaunch gala, a glittering affair at the plaza where egos sparkled brighter than chandeliers. Jordan, promoted to lead on the account, shone in a velvet blazer, his arm around Theo as they worked the room. Ethan, ever the host, mingled with donors, his hand occasionally grazing my back, a secret code. I laughed at a client's joke, Jordan chiming in with his trademark wit, our shoulders brushing in camaraderie. From across the ballroom, Ethan's gaze locked on us, darkening like thunderheads. By dessert, he cornered me in an alcove, breath ragged. Not again, Alex. Not with him. The old rage resurfaced, words sharp as shattered glass. It's a party, Ethan, friends talking. You're seeing ghosts. His face crumpled, vulnerability warring with fear. Ghosts. Every time he looks at you, I see the life I can't give, the open one, without hiding. The confession hung, raw and revealing the depth of his internalized shame, fed by years of societal scripts that painted queer love as lesser. I cupped his face, thumbs tracing jawline tension. You are enough. We define this, not them. But doubt lingered, a crack in our mending. The breaking point came unexpectedly, a Friday night storm that flooded subways and canceled plans. I ended up at Ethan's penthouse uninvited, soaked from the dash, seeking shelter and solace. He answered in sweatpants, hair damp from a shower, surprise melting into warmth. Come in. God, you're drenched. We ordered Thai, the rain lashing windows like accusations, conversation meandering from work woes to childhood tales. Wine flowed, loosening tongues, until 2 glasses turned to 4, his cheeks flushed under the low lamplight. It spilled then, unfiltered. I never meant to hurt you that night. He slurred, leaning close on the leather couch, blue eyes glassy with liquor and longing. The rage. It was terror, Alex. Terror that you'd see me, the real me, broken and scared, and walk away. I've hidden so long, pretending for Dad, for the firm, for everyone. But you make me want to burn it all down. Tears tracked his cheeks, voice cracking. I love you. God, I love you so much it terrifies me. That's why the jealousy, it wasn't control. It was clinging to the one thing that felt true. The words hung, a drunk epiphany that pierced my defenses. I pulled him close, his head on my shoulder, sobs muffled in my shirt. I love you too. I whispered, the admission a dam breaking. But love isn't hiding. It's fighting together. Dawn crept in with the rains easing, sobriety bringing clarity. Ethan woke with a hangover and horror, but I silenced his apologies with a kiss, steady, affirming. You said it. Now own it. Resolution unfolded in ripples. Ethan came out to his sister first, her tearful embrace a bridge to family mending. At the firm, he advocated for diversity initiatives, his voice steady in board meetings where prejudices once silenced him. Jordan became an ally, not a rival, toasting our idiot romantics over beers. Mia, witnessing our quiet strength at a rooftop dinner, squeezed my hand. You built something real, babe. Flaws and all. By fall, as leaves gilded Central Park, we walked hand in hand. No more shadows. The jealousy that broke us forged something unbreakable, a love that weathered rages and revelations, emerging in the light we both deserved. Yet even in that golden afterglow, the undercurrents of our story tugged insistently, reminding us that healing is not linear, but a labyrinth of setbacks and small victories. The Whitaker campaign launched to acclaim. My visuals splashed across billboards from Times Square to the Hollywood sign, a poetic loop closing my east-west odyssey. Ethan stood beside me at the press event, his arm a subtle anchor around my waist, the photographer's flashes capturing not just success, but the quiet pride in his smile. We did this, he murmured, lips brushing my ear amid the applause. For the first time, we felt public, a declaration etched in pixels and print. But prejudices, those insidious weeds, sprouted in unexpected soils. Ethan's father, Reginald Harrington, announced a visit from Connecticut, a rare intrusion into his son's urban empire. Reggie was the archetype of old money, silver-haired, club-tie clad, with a worldview forged in boardrooms and country clubs where queerness was whispered as scandal. Ethan braced for it, pacing his apartment like a man awaiting trial, while I hovered on the periphery, offering coffee and calm. He'll see us, really see us, I assured, though my stomach knotted at the thought. Mia, ever the voice of unfiltered truth, texted from LA, channel your inner diva. If he side eyes, serve face and facts. The dinner unfolded at Le Bernardin, a seafood cathedral of crisp linens and crystal, where power deals simmered beneath civility. Reggie arrived with a firm handshake for me, his grip assessing, eyes appraising my suit and the faint trace of cologne that mirrored Ethan's. Conversations skirted safe harbors, golf scores, market trends, until dessert, when Reggie's gaze sharpened over his creme brulee. Ethan mentioned your contributions to the firm, Alex. Impressive for someone so young. The pause hung, loaded with implication. Ethan tensed beside me, fork midway to mouth. Dad, Alex is more than that. He's my partner, in every sense. The words landed like a gavel. Reggie's fork clinked against porcelain, his face a study in restrained shock, lips thinning, brows arching like cathedral spires. Partner, he echoed, voice measured but edged with the frost of disapproval. I assumed. Well, traditions hold weight in our world, son. Heirs, legacies. The air thickened, prejudices parading as paternal concern. I felt the familiar coil of defensiveness rise, memories of Texas taunts flooding back, the Bible thumpers who'd branded my identity a phase, a sin. But Ethan's hand found mine under the table, a lifeline of solidarity. Legacies evolve, Dad. Mine includes Alex. If that's a problem, it's yours to wrestle. Silence stretched, taut as a wire, until Reggie exhaled, setting down his napkin with deliberate care. I didn't raise you to defy everything we built. But his eyes, scanning Ethan's resolute face, softened fractionally, a crack in the armor. The evening ended with stiff goodbyes, no hugs, but as we stepped into the night air, Ethan pulled me into an alley shadow, kissing me fiercely against brick. "Thank you for standing with me," he breathed, forehead to mine. "That was the hardest thing I've done." In that moment, love felt like rebellion, sweet and searing. Back at the firm, ripples spread. Word of Ethan's bold move circulated in hushed tones, some colleagues offering nods of support, Jordan high-fiving me in the elevator, whispering "proud of you both," while others withdrew, their smiles plastic as saran wrap. One exec, a Silver Fox veteran named Harlan, pulled Ethan aside post-meeting, his voice a gravelly drawl. "Heard about your dinner chat. Family's one thing, but the partners. We value discretion here." The warning slithered, a reminder of the glass ceiling that bent but rarely broke for those who dared color outside its lines. Ethan relayed it later, over takeout in bed, his head on my chest. "It's bullshit, but it's our reality. Still, I'd do it again." Friendships fortified us. Theo hosted a game night at their loft, a cozy chaos of charades and craft beers, where vulnerabilities aired like laundry. "My folks cut me off for years after I came out," Theo shared, shuffling cards with scarred knuckles from a misguided youth of repression. "Thought love meant erasure. But Jordan showed me its amplification." Jordan nodded, pulling Theo close. "And now, we're louder together." Their story, a tapestry of therapy sessions and pride parades, mirrored our stumbles, misunderstandings born of fear, resolved in radical honesty. Mia joined virtually, her face pixelated on a laptop, regaling us with tales of her latest exhibit, portraits of queer elders, survivors of Stonewall Echoes. "You two are writing your chapter," she said, eyes sparkling. "Make it messy, make it yours." Yet misunderstandings festered in subtler ways. A misinterpreted text from Jordan, "Drinks Friday?" "Miss our chats," ignited a flicker of old jealousy in Ethan, his reply to me terse, "Going out." I laughed it off at first, but the undercurrent pulled, dredging insecurities. "It's platonic, babe." Like with Mia. He paced our shared space. My sublet had evolved into ours, boxes unpacked in tandem, rubbing his neck. I know, logically, but that night at the gala, it replays a loop of what-ifs. We talked it through till midnight, unraveling the thread. His fear not of Jordan, but of his own unworthiness, the lingering echo of Reggie's legacy. "You're enough?" I echoed, pulling him down to the rug, our bodies aligning in comfort, not conquest. Dawn found us tangled in sheets. The storm passed. Autumn deepened, leaves crunching underfoot as we navigated coupledom's rhythms. Farmers markets in Union Square, where Ethan's hand swung freely in mine. Quiet evenings scripting pitches side by side, laptops syncing like heartbeats. But conflict brewed anew with the holidays looming, a minefield of family expectations. Reggie extended an olive branch. "Thanksgiving at the Connecticut estate, with your companion." The invitation, formal as a contract, hit barbs. Ethan agonized over acceptance. His reflection in the mirror haunted. "What if he poisons you against me?" I cupped his chin, meeting those blue depths. "He won't. And if he tries, we'll leave, together." The drive north wound through fiery foliage, tension coiling like the road. The Harrington Manor loomed, a colonial behemoth of gables and grounds, where servants bustled and portraits of stern ancestors glowered. Reggie greeted us at the door, his clasp firmer this time, though his eyes flicked over our joined hands. Dinner assembled a tableau. Ethan's mother, Lydia, a porcelain fragility with warm smiles masking worry. His younger sister, Claire, a grad student with rainbow earrings and quiet allyship. Turkey carved, wines poured, conversation danced around politics until it didn't. The firm's future, Reggie intoned, slicing into his plate. Ethan, with your personal choices, how do you plan stability? Investors talk, you know. The room chilled. Lydia's fork trembled. Claire's foot nudged mine under the table. Ethan's voice cut clear. My personal life enhances my work, Dad. Authenticity drives innovation. Ask the Whitaker numbers. Reggie leaned back, appraising. Authenticity. Noble word. But in our circles, it's a risk. The debate escalated, voices rising like yeast. Reggie's defenses of tradition clashing with Ethan's pleas for progress. My interjections on the power of diverse teams landing like pebbles in a pond. Claire jumped in, her passion aflare. Dad, times change. Love isn't a ledger. By pie. Exhaustion settled, but as we retired to the guest wing, Reggie lingered in the hall. Alex, he said, voice low. You make him fight. That's something. The words, grudging respect wrapped in gravel, shifted sand. Over midnight cocoa with Claire, she confessed her own struggles. Bi-curious explorations in college met with dorm whispers, a girlfriend lost to familial pressure. Ethan's braver than he knows, she said, hugging me tight. Thank you for that. Morning brought a tentative truce, Reggie joining us for a walk, questions about my Texas roots probing deeper than disdain. Sounds like you built yourself from scratch, he noted, almost admiring. Departure held no fanfare, but a promise, Christmas, neutral ground. Back in the city, the thaw deepened. Jordan and Theo's engagement party pulsed with joy, a rooftop affair under string lights, where toasts flowed and dances swirled. Ethan, tipsy on champagne, pulled me onto the floor, our sway a defiant waltz amid queer kin. To us, he whispered, nuzzling my neck. But surprises lurked. Harlan, the exec skeptic, approached with a scotch, his gruff facade cracking. Saw the Harrington spread in the Times. Bold. Reminds me of my Navy days. Hiding, then not. Good on you. The olive branch, unexpected, mended office fissures. Yet climax shadowed joy. A leaked email chain surfaced, anonymous, vicious, detailing inappropriate office dynamics between senior leadership and junior staff. Whispers pinned it on me, the LA import disrupting harmony. Panic gripped Ethan, his office a bunker of calls to legal. This could tank everything, he confided, face ashen. I paced, fury boiling. It's sabotage, someone threatened by change. Investigations traced it to a disgruntled junior, Harlan's nephew, his prejudices a petty venom. Confrontation came swift. HR hearings where Ethan's testimony rang true, my portfolio a shield of professionalism. The nephew resigned, tail between legs, but scars lingered, trust eroded, the firm a tinderbox. In the aftermath, we retreated to a cabin upstate, Hudson Valley woods a balm. Fires crackled, books swapped, silences companionable. I almost lost you again, Ethan admitted, staring into flames. Not to jealousy, but to the world's noise. I laced fingers with his. We fight the noise together. That's our story. Returning renewed, we channeled it. Ethan spearheading ally training, me designing inclusive campaigns that rippled outward. Winter blanketed Manhattan in hush, our love a steady flame. Christmas at the Harringtons unfolded warmer. Reggie's toast acknowledging family's new shape, Lydia's embrace lingering. Mia arrived, her laughter a sparkler, weaving tales that bridged coasts. As snow fell soft outside, Ethan and I stole to the library, his kiss a vow amid leather-bound tomes. You saved me, he murmured. From myself. And in that salvation, we found not just love, but legacy, rewritten, radiant. Spring's renewal mirrored our own, petals unfurling as we shed winter's weights. The firm buzzed with fresh hires, diversity quotas met with fanfare, Ethan's leadership earning quiet accolades from even the skeptics. Harlan, reformed, nominated him for an industry award, a crystal trophy etched with visionary, presented at a gala where flashbulbs immortalized our linked arms. To breaking ceilings, Jordan toasted later, his ring glinting as Theo beamed beside him. But beneath the gloss, personal tempests stirred. Mia announced her move to New York, a gallery gig luring her east, her excitement a double-edged sword. "Roomy reunion," she crowed over brunch, but her eyes held shadows. A recent ghosting by a date who'd balked at her too much energy. "Dating in this city," she sighed, spearing her eggs. "It's like herding cats in heels." I pulled her into a side hug, the booth at Sarabeth's creaking. "We'll herd together. Ethan loves you already. Says you're the sister he needed." Her grin flashed, but vulnerability lingered, a reminder that even anchors have chinks. Ethan joined us post-meeting, sliding in with coffees, his kiss to my temple casual as breathing. "Plotting world domination?" Mia teased, and his laugh rumbled true. Yet that night, alone in our evolving space, now with his suits mingling my jeans in the closet, he confessed a gnawing. "Dad's health scare last week. It hit hard. Makes me think about futures, kids maybe, the whole white picket illusion I never bought, but now wonder." The admission hung, a fork in our road. We'd skirted family talk, our love a present tense haven, but time's arrow prodded. "Adoption? Surrogacy?" I ventured, heart quickening at visions of tiny hands and ours. He nodded, tracing patterns on my thigh. "With you, yeah? But the world's not kind to two dads yet." Stares, assumptions. His voice trailed, echoing prejudices we'd battled. I kissed his temple. "Then we make it kinder. Start small, volunteer at the center, mentor kids like we were." The idea sparked, a project blooming. We signed up for Big Brothers Big Sisters, matched with a shy 12-year-old named Kai, whose wide eyes and foster backstory tugged heartstrings. Sessions at the park, frisbee tosses, ice cream debates. Wove us tighter, Kai's tentative trust a mirror to our own. Friendships amplified the growth. Jordan and Theo's wedding planning became our communal rite. Tastings at bakeries where buttercream debates dissolved into laughter, venue scouts in Brooklyn lofts pulsing with string quartets. "Eloped to Vegas?" Jordan joked, but Theo's quiet, traditional, but us, one. A ceremony at the Brooklyn Botanic Garden where vows exchanged under cherry blossoms promised eternity. As best men, Ethan and I stood shoulder to shoulder, his whispered during the I do's, "That's us soon." The reception swirled with queer joy, drag performances, photo booths with props absurd as affection, Claire arriving with her girlfriend, a soft-spoken poet whose verses later moved us to tears. Mia, maid of honor, roasted Jordan's eternal side-eye till cheeks ached. But surprises ambushed. A client dinner unearthed a ghost. My ex from L.A., Riley, now a rising ad, was relocated east, his boyish charm undimmed by time. "Alex, small world," he exclaimed over oysters, his date a statuesque model oblivious to history. Ethan stiffened beside me, fork scraping plate, the old jealousy a phantom limb twitching. Later, in the cab home, it erupted. "You too." The looks, the inside jokes. "Is that why you left before?" His voice cracked, insecurity a raw nerve. I turned, cab lights strobing his face. "Riley's past, Ethan. Water under bridges we both crossed. This is us, present, promised." He deflated, head on my shoulder. "I know. It's the fear that someone easier comes along." Vulnerability bared. We dissected it at home, wine-aiding honesty. "Easier isn't better," I affirmed, hands framing his face. "You're my hard-won home." Conflict crested midsummer, a heat wave mirroring tempers. The firm faced a hostile takeover bid from a rival conglomerate known for slashing non-essential programs. Ours included the diversity arm Ethan championed. Boardroom battles raged, Ethan's pitches a blaze of data and defiance, my creatives visualizing Unity's ROI. Harlan backed us, his turnaround a quiet vindication, but Reggie, consulting remotely, advised caution. "Don't rock the boat, son." Stability over statements. The tension fractured father-son calls, Ethan's frustration boiling over one evening as we prepped dinner. He sees me as a liability now, his progressive son, the risk. I set down the knife, pulling him to the counter. Or as a leader, "Fight for it, babe. We'll weather." The climax unfolded in a marathon all-nighter, projections flickering on screens as allies rallied. Jordan crunching numbers, Mia sketching protest visuals pro bono. Dawn broke with victory, the bid rebuffed, our initiatives enshrined. But exhaustion unearthed buried grief. Ethan breaking down in my arms, sobs for the boy who'd hidden to please, the man emerging scarred but whole. I can't lose this. Us the work. I held him, rocking gently. You won't. We're the tide that turns. Fall's harvest brought bounty. Kai's birthday party, a backyard bash with water balloons and cake smears. Marked milestones, his hug to Ethan fierce. You're the best bigs ever. Reggie's recovery visit overlapped, his presence at the park awkward at first, then thawing as he tossed a ball, gruff jokes masking approval. Kid's got spirit, like his mentors. Lydia sent knitted scarves, her note. Family grows. Claire's poetry reading downtown drew us all, her words on love's labyrinths echoing our path. Yet a personal high tide swelled. Ethan's proposal, not grand but grounded. A picnic in Prospect Park, autumn leaves carpeting our blanket. A ring simple as our start. Silver band etched with coordinates of that first kiss office. Marry me, Alex, not despite the rages, but because we rose from them. Tears blurred, my yes a whisper carried on wind. Mia squealed via video, Jordan hooped in person, Reggie's call gruff. About time. Winter whispered of weddings. Our love a evergreen against frosts. A drama resolved not in perfection, but in persistent grace. The engagement ring caught winter's pale light like a secret shared, a quiet revolution on my finger as New Year's Eve fireworks painted the sky from Ethan's balcony. Toasts rang in the new year with champagne flutes clinking. Jordan and Theo, fresh from honeymoon glow in the Caribbean. Mia, her arm linked with a new flame. A curly-haired curator whose shy smiles promised depth. Claire, poet girlfriend in tow, reciting impromptu verses on rings of fire and frost. Reggie even zoomed in, his nod to the camera a milestone. To bold beginnings. Ethan pulled me aside amid the cheers, his kiss tasting of bubbles and forever. This is just the prologue, he murmured, eyes alight with plans unspoken. Wedding whirlwind ensued, a blur of tastings and ties. We opted intimate. 50 souls in a loft space overlooking the Hudson, fairy lights twining beams like veins of light. Mia helmed decor, her sketches blooming into wildflower arches and Polaroids strung like memories. Jordan, best man, scripted a speech laced with roasts, from jealous glares to jealous toasts. Ethan, you finally caught what we all saw. Alex is the upgrade. Laughter cascaded, Theo's arms steady around him, their own vows a recent echo. But beneath festivity, tension simmered. A vendor mix-up, caterer flaking last minute, tested us. Ethan's control fraying as calls flew. This is our day, he snapped at the phone, then deflated into my chest. Sorry, old habits. I smoothed his hair. We adapt. Pizza and love, our style. Pre-wedding jitters unearthed deeper currents. Bachelor parties diverged. Mine a low-key spa day with Mia and Claire, steam rooms yielding confessions. Ethan's scared of the vows. I admitted, towel-clad vulnerability. Mia's brow arched. The forever kind? Or the public one? Claire chimed, sharing her girlfriend's recent family clash. Dinner turned interrogation on settling down right. It's the world's weight, she said. But you two? You're defying gravity. Ethan's eve unfolded boozier. Jordan's strip club detour swapped for a speakeasy crawl, where scotches loosened tongues. He confessed later, hungover haze, told the guys about the rage night, how it broke us, but you returning mended more. Jordan slap on back. That's growth, man. Own the mess. Ceremony day dawned crisp, April's breath sweet with promise. I stood at the altar. Okay, arch, heart hammering under my linen suit, curls tamed but spirit wild. Ethan appeared, devastating in navy, his walk steady, eyes locked on mine like anchors. Vows exchanged were raw poetry. Mine, you taught me love isn't flawless, but fierce. Through storms, we sail. His, I hid from myself until you lit the way. Be my always. Ring slid on, sealing with a kiss that drew whoops and tears. Reggie's discreet dab at eyes. Lydia's beam radiant. Reception pulsed gentle. First dance to a indie folk tune, bodies swaying close, whispers of husband, testing lips like new words. Honeymoon in Provincetown beckoned, Cape Cod's queer haven where dunes whispered freedoms. Bike rides along beaches, seafood shacks yielding lobster rolls and laughter. nights tangled in beach house linens, conversations meandering from dreams to doubts. Kids soon? Ethan ventured one sunset, toes in surf. I nodded, waves lapping agreement. With you, yes. A family fierce as us. But return thrust realities. The firm expanded, Ethan's promotion to managing partner a crown of thorns. Longer hours, higher stakes. My freelance bloomed into a boutique agency, clients drawn to my authentic edge, but balance teetered. Friendships evolved anchors. Jordan and Theo announced adoption pursuits. Papers a mountain, but hope a peak. Mia's relationship deepened, her flame proposing amid gallery lights. Claire published her debut chapbook, dedicating it to brothers who blazed trails. Yet conflict crested subtly. A work trip to Chicago pulled me away for a week, Ethan's texts laced with loneliness masking worry. Hotel bar with clients. Nothing, I assured via FaceTime. But his miss you already held echoes of past partings. Return brought makeup intensity, but a follow-up email from a colleague, flirty banter misread, ignited spark. Just networking, I explained over dinner, but his jaw tightened. I trust you. It's the absence, the what-ifs creep in. We therapied it, sessions with a queer counselor unpacking jealousy as fear's child. Communication's your sword, she advised, and we wielded it. Weekly check-ins, vulnerability jars where notes of gratitudes and gripes mingled. Kai grew, his foster placement stabilizing, our bigs role shifting to uncles in waiting. His soccer games a ritual of cheers and post-game fries. Reggie's health rallied, visits softening to stories of his own youth. A college crush unrequited, hidden in Ira's closet. Wish I'd fought sooner, he admitted over chess. Pawn to king a metaphor mended. Surprise struck summer's height. A positive fertility consult, surrogacy viable, a match in Mia's artist circle volunteering. For you too. She beamed, hugging us tearful. But ethics tangled, costs steep, emotions steeper. What if it changes us? Ethan fretted nights, my hand on his chest steadying. It grows us. Decisions loomed, a high wire of hope. Climax brewed in autumn board turmoil. A merger proposal demanded cuts, diversity programs on the block. Ethan's stand, fiery speech invoking values over valuations, rallied votes, but backlash bit. Anonymous threats online, slurs carving old wounds. Queer agenda ruining business, trolls bait. Panic crested one rainy eve, Ethan slamming laptop, voice breaking. They want to erase us, make my marriage, my fight, a punchline. I drew him to the window, rain streaking glass like tears. Then we amplify. Rally allies, go public. Press conference followed. Ethan's poise a beacon. Our strength is inclusion. Cut it, you cut our core. Support surged, petitions, partner endorsements. The merger amended, our program's safe. Resolution rippled. Harlan's retirement roast toasted Ethan's unbreakable alliance. Jordan's wink to me conspiratorial. Winter brought surrogacy greenlight. First appointment a flutter of ultrasounds and dreams. Holidays merged families. Reggie's table set for all. Toasts to expanding circles. As snow hushed the city, Ethan and I curled by fire, hands on my still flat belly's promise. From rage to this, he marveled. Love, we learned, is alchemy, turning base fears to gold. Pregnancy's poetry unfolded in whispers and wonders. The surrogates updates a lifeline of sonograms and kicks that bridged our worlds. We named the room Nursery North. Walls painted soft sage, mobiles of stars twirling lazy. Ethan devoured parenting books, his annotations meticulous as merger clauses, while I sketched murals of urban adventures, tiny sneakers on subway maps, rainbows arching cribs. Mia, godmother designate, hosted a baby shower in her gallery, canvases draped in blues and neutrals, guests toasting with mocktails. To Minnie Rivera's Harringtons, Jordan quipped, Theo's hand on his own burgeoning belly, their adoption fast-tracked. Claire read lullabies from her book, her girlfriend harmonizing soft. Even Reggie arrived, gift in hand, a silver rattle engraved legacy. But gestation's grace hid gravid tensions. Ethan's workload swelled with the bump, nights lost to calls that left him hollow-eyed. I want to be present, he confessed one dawn, coffee steaming untouched. Not just provider. I nodded, rubbing his back. Delegate, babe. We're a team, diapers and deals. Adjustments came slow. He offloaded projects to Jordan, carving evenings for prenatal yoga, his poses comically earnest, my laughter a balm. Yet prejudices pierced domestic bliss. A pediatric consult yielded side glances from staff, whispers of two dads. How's that work? Ethan's chin lifted defiant, but homeward, armor slipped. Am I enough for this kid? Without the mom script. I pulled him close, our unborn between us and spirit. More than. You'll teach heart, I'll teach hustle. Friendships fortified the forge. Theo's vulnerability over coffee. Adoption waits drag. Fears of not being chosen. We swapped stories, building a network of queer parents-to-be, playdates planned in parks where strollers aligned like solidarity. Mia's relationship hit snags, her flames ex-drama resurfacing, insecurities flaring. Love's messy pre-baby. She vented over wine, hers, and juice mine. You two make it look easy. I snorted. Practice, tears, and therapy. Claire's wedding loomed. A garden affair in Connecticut. Her vows a vow to us all. Love defies definitions. Here's to ours. Surprise crested in a routine scan. Twins. Joy exploded. Double kicks, double cribs, but logistics doubled doubts. Can we handle 4 heartbeats? Ethan half-joked, panic-veiled. We leaned on counsel. Sessions unpacking provider pressures, his father's shadow long. Reggie, sensing, visited with tales. Your grandfather built empires, but missed birthdays. Don't repeat. His gruff wisdom, a gift. Conflict brewed as birth neared. A firm retreat in the Hamptons, team building amid dunes, clashed with my bedrest mandate. Go. I urged, but Ethan balked, loyalty torn. Jordan mediated. We've got this. Focus on the miracles. Yet en route, a storm stalled ferries, stranding him overnight. My calls went to voicemail, anxiety spiking. Braxton Hicks hit hard, Mia rushing to hold vigil. He's coming. I texted, fear a fist. Dawn brought him, disheveled on doorstep, apologies tumbling. Never again, family first. We clung, storm's fury yielding to forgiveness. Climax thundered weeks later. Labor's false alarm escalated real. Hospital halls a blur of beeps and breaths. Ethan white-knuckled my hand. Wait, his, as surrogate labored, hours stretching eternal. Breathe with me. I coached, though terror gripped us both. Dawn's cry shattered silence. Boy first, then girl, tiny fists waving triumph. Naming came instinctive. Luca for light, Elena for grace. Holding them, swaddled storms. Ethan's tears baptized our bond. We did this. He whispered, echoing gala nights long past. Outside, world waited judgmental. First outing, stroller stroll in Central Park, drew stares, a jogger's mutter, unnatural slicing air. Ethan's retort sharp, love's the natural part. But home, isolation crept, sleep deprivation's fog, colics wails a relentless tide. Am I failing them? I murmured at 3 a.m., Luca fussing. Ethan, Elena asleep on chest, met my eyes. We're learning. Together. Mia's drop-ins, Jordan's meal trains, Claire's poems taped to fridge, our village vital. Yet a deeper rift yawned. Ethan's promotion demanded travel, a Tokyo trip looming. Postpone, I pleaded, twins cries chorus. He wavered, but board pressed. Departure eve, airport run fraud. This kills me, he choked, kissing babes' heads. Solo days blurred, feedings, fevers, my freelance faltering. A midnight call, his voice crackling. Miss you all, feels wrong. Return brought reckoning. He resigned the role, demoted but devoted. Worth it, he affirmed, family photo, our new portfolio. Resolution bloomed slow. Reggie's retirement, gifted time, grandpa duties, rattle shakes evolving to story hours. Harlan's mentorship passed to Jordan, firm steadier. Mia's wedding to her flame. A beach elopement we streamed, twins gurgling approval. As first birthday neared, twins toddling tentative, our love stood battle-tested. From jealous shards to joyful shards, mended mosaic. Toddler tempests tested tenacity, Luca's boundless energy a whirlwind chasing Elena's thoughtful pauses, their duo a delightful discord. Mornings dissolved into chaos, serial avalanches, sock hunts. But Ethan's lullabies, my tickle chases, wove harmony. Work recalibrated. My agency thrived remote. Ethan's hybrid role yielding boardroom mornings and playground afternoons. Balance isn't perfect, he noted over coffee, Luca on hip-smearing jam. But it's ours. Friendships flowered fuller. Jordan and Theo's son arrived via adoption. A cherub-cheeked bundle named Milo, playdates a cacophony of coos and crashes. Queer village raising them right, Theo quipped, swapping diaper hacks. Mia, married bliss in a loft studio, illustrated our family portrait for her next show, Modern Myths, Dads as Dragons, Slaying Doubts. Claire's second book toured, dedicating a reading to the uncles who uncled first, her family expanding with a puppy named Verse. Yet surprises shadowed son. A school enrollment snag, Luca's preschool waitlist citing family structure review, stung like salt in progress. Ethan's advocacy roared. Letters to boards, media spots on inclusive ed. Our story a spark for policy shifts. Reggie rallied, his old ties pulling strings. No grandson of mine waits. Resolution came swift, enrollment granted, precedent set. But the fight unearthed old scars. Ethan's nightmare of loss, waking sweat slick. What if they face what I did, hiding? I held him, twins monitor humming soft. They'll face with us, out proud. Conflict crested in a custody scares echo. Surrogacy papers unearthed a clause dispute from the agency's side. A paperwork glitch threatening review. Panic clawed, lawyers looped, nights sleepless. They're ours, Ethan growled in meetings, my hand is anchor. Mia's legal friend dove in pro bono, unraveling red tape. Climax in court, judge's gavel affirmed. Parental bonds transcend forms. Tears flowed post-hearing, twins' hugs healing. Post-storm, growth deepened. Family therapy wove Reggie in, his confessions cathartic. Feared losing you to my fears. Bonds mended over golf carts and grandkid giggles. Holidays homogenized. Thanksgiving a potluck of coasts. Mia's in-laws blending with ours. Toasts to chosen and blood. Years layered like patina. Twins firsts a cascade. Kindergarten gates. Lost teeth. Pride floats where they waved mini flags. Chanting love wins. Ethan's firm evolved. CEO now. Diversity his cornerstone. My agency partnered global. Campaigns championing queer narratives. Jordan led creative. Theo's novels optioned. Mia's exhibits toured. Claire's tenure secured. A decade's dusk found us on that balcony. City hum a lullaby. Empty nesters with grandkids on horizon. Luca's art school acceptance. Elena's debate triumphs. Ethan's arms circled me, silver threading his hair. From rage to this, regrets. I leaned in, kiss seasoned. None. You. His smile, blueprint of ours. Just grateful. For the break, the return, the reveal. Our story, etched in time's full light, whispered. Love endures, not despite drama, but through it. Jealousies tamed, misunderstandings mapped, prejudices pierced. In America's vast tapestry, we wove our thread. Resilient, radiant, real.